welcome on stage Müge, Maximilian, and Julia. Great to have you here. I think we start. You are the co-founder and CEO of Morley. Can you tell us more what Morley is doing and what your journey was to found this company?
Yes. Hi everyone, I'm Müge. I'm an environmental engineer, also founder of Morley. With Morley, we are manage and recycle your electronic waste like old cables or broken phones. So e-waste have different types of raw materials like the hazardous and also precious ones. If you send your e-waste to wrong facility, it could be, go to another country like Africa or India, and the children who are not yet 13 years old yet gonna die with the poisoning of mercury or cadmium. But if you select a proper right facility for recycle, we can recover inside of the electronics like copper, gold, and titanium, like the rare earth elements of our new world. So how can you know that what is the proper facility? Actually, we have an R&D process we call that online expertise. When you upload your e-waste photos on our platform, we're gonna create a digital waste passport, and you can see all the details, raw material potentials of your electronics. And if you want to recycle with us, you can use our marketplace for matching with the license and right facilities. In Turkey, generally corporate companies use our platform for track and report their electronic waste journeys in recycles and recoveries rates.
That sounds super interesting. Thank you very much. Maximilian, we spoke yesterday evening a little bit about your company, about AconPure, because someone very special inspired you to found the company, right?
That's true. Before we come to our product, it's actually a quite funny story who inspired us. I was writing my master thesis in 2016 in California, and I was sharing an apartment with some local students. And I already have been working in the field of the water industry for many years before, and we were talking about what we were doing beside our studies. So I told them, yeah, I'm a water guy, I'm working in the water industry. And then one guy said, we have a very specific saying here, which says, Arnie has terminated the water softener. And at the first moment, I thought maybe it's some kind of a joke, but I looked it up online and I found a law signed in 2009 by Mr. Schwarzenegger himself called the Water Softener Ban to reduce salt pollution in Californian waters. So I got inspired by Mr. Schwarzenegger himself.
So, and what exactly is AconPure doing?
So we are talking about the product which is installed at the main water supply of a building to reduce limescale deposits caused by hard water. And everything you need to get our product is a smartphone to access our website and a picture of your main water supply that we can arrange the installation. So we made the whole process very easy and convenient. And what's the reason behind the salt-free technology? The problem is that conventional water softeners, which use a lot of salt, this salt gets unfiltered into rivers and lakes because sewage water treatment plants cannot filter out the salt, respectively the chloride, so the pollution rises. And research has shown that there is an increase in salinization, and it's a global threat to freshwater ecosystems all around the world. So we need to reduce the chloride pollution. And research has also shown that the amount of chloride emitted by these salt-based water softeners can be the highest source of chloride emitted into waters, depending on where you are. And research has also shown that reducing the numbers of salt-based water softeners is an effective measure to reduce that kind of pollution. So we are not only protecting your home by limescale deposits, it's also something where we help to reduce the pollution of waters.
That's amazing. Thank you. Julia, you are the CEO of S-Lab. Maybe you can share your journey towards founding that company and tell us what S-Lab is doing.
Sure. Hi, everyone. Maybe let me start from asking who knows what styrofoam or polystyrene is? That white, squeaky stuff, raise your hand. Okay, who hates the sound of polystyrene and the overall, material? Yeah, most of you guys. So what we do, we build an actual alternative of polystyrene that has the same properties in terms of waterproof, thermal insulation, durability, but it is done out of only 2 plant-based components. One is plant waste, so we take straws of the plants and then mix them with mycelium. And let me explain what mycelium is. Mycelium is a network of mushroom roots and has a very natural, strong binding properties. So when we mix those 2 together, mycelium start to create nets, like a spider, and really bind all the particles of the plant waste together, and we get this material that can be used instead of polystyrene. So instead of 15 billion kilograms of polystyrene produced in the packaging industry every year, with significant CO2 emissions, water usage, and landfills use, we could actually use this material. So about my journey, I have a master's degree in biotechnology, which kind of seems logical doing this, but actually I was so disappointed while I was studying at the university about the science, how not practical it is, that I went to work at the software industry. I was leading teams, managing projects, going with very high budgets, but at that time I was able to travel and work remotely and manage distributed teams. So one day, me and my co-founder and my husband, he's here in the audience, we ended up being in Bali, in this paradise, beautiful island in the ocean, and we were doing surfing sessions. So one day we went to another surfing session, and instead of beautiful island, beautiful nature, we saw huge piles of plastics. And of course it was a devastating picture, and that was a moment when we actually didn't whine, and we decided to do something. We were big dreamers, and we thought, well, I have some background, Eugene has amazing ability to gather data and actually do the research. So we had just this dream, let's replace this, let's not dwell on the injustice, let's not cry over this problem of the plastic, let's try to do something and change it. So right now we have our own production of this material. We have big customers like L'Oreal, Nespresso, and JTI, and of course we work with other small, medium businesses, and we are working on our own technology, so we are getting exposure of the material.
See, I told you it's gonna be an interesting afternoon. All the 3 of you are so inspiring with your stories. Can you maybe tell us what are your next plans? What are the next steps for Morley?
Yeah. Actually, everybody knows in this room probably we have a very huge scarcity of the raw materials, like the chip crisis for cars or lithium-ion batteries or something. But the classical mining, which is, for collecting the copper, get under the mountains, is very harmful for our earth. But the city mining, which is recycle your e-waste, actually is very environmental friendly. So because of that, we give a lot of incentive and encourage the people to recycle them electronics. The calculations clearly shows us that city mining, if everybody recycle their electronics, we have a 1.5 times more raw materials compared to classical minings. That means we don't need anymore to digging under the soil. Everything is above. So because of that, I ask to everyone for recycle their electronics with Molly.
If you could make one special request or wish to grow your company, what would that be?
Actually, we are at our second funding round for growth our business, and also we have another R&D technology. It's a Molly ATM, but obviously it's not working with banking card. It's just working with old cables or CDs or the radios, grandpa's radios. And when you drop off your e-waste, immediately we're gonna recognize what types of it. And after that, we give points for collect or redeem your gift card or discount coupons. Our first early adapters in Turkey, some shopping malls and grocery stores. We want to spread these ATMs all around the country. Because of that, we need another funding.
That's amazing. Maybe you find it today.
I hope.
Maximilian, what are your next plans, the next steps?
So we want to work on our communication. I know it's a topic which we heard many times today, but it's a very important topic. We have sold 25,000 products in Germany. We have equipped 25,000 buildings with our product in Germany, but there are around 10 million buildings. So that's the potential market size of buildings which suffer from limescale. So it's our responsibility to find a way of communication that everyone knows and everyone understands why we are doing it and what we are doing. And there is one example. The case is, if I ask people, most of them would think about 90% of rivers and lakes in Germany are in a good ecological condition. But the truth is, it's exactly the opposite the case. More than 90% are in a very bad ecological condition. And if even that very basic knowledge and understanding isn't around the people, we cannot really get forward. So we are working on a broader understanding why clean water technology is important and why people need to take a look on it closer instead of talking about it.
Yeah, we're very happy that you're here to help us understand the problem. It really helps to speak about that. And you founded the company, I think, some years ago. I guess you have a lot of learnings from ups and downs. Do you have something you want to share with us or an advice to our very young audience here?
I would say, be a Terminator. We have had a lot of newspaper articles about our company history. But I always remember a very specific headline, which was "The Terminator of Limescale Deposits." It's a very specific claim, and we are terminating something in very specific fields. We are terminating limescale, we are terminating energy inefficiency, we are terminating salt. But the truth is, everyone can be a terminator of bad habits, a terminator of outdated business models or overcome technology. And I think we all agree that there are many more things to terminate to get to a cleaner future. So my advice is we need more useful terminators.
Amazing. Thank you. By the way, I think you also have a booth at the Austrian World Summit Conference Expo. So if people want to check your products and your company, you can go there and have a look, right?
Oh yes, we are exactly on the opposite. When you leave the room, we are very happy to show you our products and tell you more about our company.
Great. Julia, if you could make one wish for your company, what would that be? Maybe except of more money.
Yeah, so there are 30% of worldwide landfills covered with polystyrene. So of course, I would envision us replacing all of this harmful polystyrene. And for that, we are building a scalable business model of mobile production units that we could deploy anywhere in the world. And this way, we could make our material affordable and available to everyone. And this way, we could have a global exposure and finally replace this polystyrene and make landfills free from it.
And do you have an advice for the people here?
Yeah, I mean, just keep going. As Nemo said in that movie, just keep going. You just have to wake up every day, no matter what ups and downs you face. You just bravely face them and just continue with your mission, believe in your mission. And you should know that when you believe in your dream and your mission, everything is possible. People will be there for you. You will get all the support, all the help that you can if you actually are leading this action, and if you are that model who wants to change something, there will be people supporting you.
Thank you for that inspiration. Thanks. So, someone who really knows about growing businesses and supporting innovative companies is Phoebe Wang. She is joining us today from California. She is investment partner at the Amazon Climate Pledge Fund and a clean tech venture capitalist. Phoebe, thank you for being here with us today.
Thank you, Barbara. Very nice to be here, and hi everyone. So good to see everyone. I really love the energy in the room.
Great. Can you briefly tell us what is the Amazon Climate Pledge Fund doing?
Absolutely. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. As Barbara mentioned, my name is Phoebe Wan, investment partner at Amazon's $2 billion Climate Pledge Fund. As we all know, our planet is facing an unprecedented climate crisis. Rising temperatures, melting ice cap, and extreme weather events are just a few of the indicators that show that we're in the race against time. So it's my privilege to be here today. So in 2019, Amazon co-founded the Climate Pledge, which is a commitment to reach net zero carbon across our businesses by 2040, which is 10 years ahead of the Paris Agreement. 1 year after that, we have funded the $2 billion Climate Pledge Fund, and we have just celebrated our 5th year, kind of pioneering and trailblazing forward. Right now, we have over 30 companies in our fund. We look at and focus in several verticals, right? So including mobility, including transportation, energy storage, as well as like the circular economy. We have heard a lot of the speakers on the stage talking about their innovations and inventions, and many of those are very aligned with our portfolio.
That's amazing. We spoke about that topic a little bit in the morning session, that green and sustainable funds are not growing as expected, and still a lot of funding goes into traditional, very often polluting industries. So we would be very curious to hear your insights. Is investing in green business really over?
That's a really good question, especially I think for the people in the room that are coming from the US side, right? I think the atmosphere hopefully is a little bit better now, like everyone is in EU. And I know that in like APAC, people are still moving forward. I think based on my experience, I have been in the clean tech in the past 15 years, as I mentioned. We have seen kind of ups and downs, right? It's kind of the clean tech 1.0, and we're currently in the environment where you probably see a little bit stagnation of the investments. However, I know that my peers and also like our team are still moving forward, looking at companies and giving advice and trying to help them. And if we're looking at this whole trend, it's not reversing. We're passing 1.5 degrees. There's a huge crisis in front of us. We have the next generations that are very, very familiar and also kind of living in this new world, right? Like the Gen Z, Gen Alpha, they know carbon footprint. They know what we're heading towards. It is reality that they're facing in the future. So I don't see this as a trend that's reversing. We probably have a little barrier here and there, but like based on my experience, we will see a boom in the future.
Hopefully. Do you have any recommendation for startups or young entrepreneurs who want to build their startups, their green project businesses? Also some advice maybe for our speakers here on stage.
Yeah, I think the speakers on stage and also entrepreneurs in the room are great in just kind of trailblazing the frontier. I think it is very important to be persistent and persevere because we're facing a crisis and we need a lot of people moving forward in the same direction. Sustainability is not only just a goal, but it is a responsibility that we all share. Thank you.
TB, thank you so much for all your insights and also for the inspirational words. We have the theme of the day, Unite in Action, in mind. What comes to your mind if you hear that? How can we unite in action?
Be sure that your e-waste is recycled because our manufacturing industry needs that, and the earth is going to be appreciative of that.
Don't wait until others start to work on a cleaner future. Start today.
For me, it's actually not hearing buts and ifs for the climate industry, because when we introduce our solution, I always hear, well, that's a great solution, we would love to use it, we hate styrofoam, but, and if, so if being practical, let's try to avoid those, but if, let's think how we can work together, execute together, and implement new innovative solutions in the climate to actually fight the pollution.